In this video, I'm going to be planting food plots, watering fruit trees, checking trail cameras, and just preparing for deer season in general. But let's start out at location number 1, which is the cabin food plot. Our first step for planting this food plot was to rake off all the leaves and twigs and sticks that were in the way for planting the seeds. And then after we planted the seeds, we walked them down. You can also use a four-wheeler instead of walking these down. It just makes it a little bit quicker sometimes, but this is a small food plot, so we just walked them down so they're in the ground and ready to grow. But then after that, we watered the food plot because we're in the middle of a drought right now, and it can be really hard to get enough rain for them to pop up and start growing. So we just did some putting a sprinkler out and watering them just to be safe, and hopefully this will help them pop up a little bit easier. And also I wanted to mention real quick that we have to kill the weeds before we do anything in this video, which is all the planting and stuff. So my grandpa actually killed off all these weeds first with just some weed killer. And then after that, we actually did some planting of some earlier seeds. So different seeds have different times where you have to plant them in order for them to grow. So we planted some seeds that come up earlier for the early season to attract the deer in. And now in this video, we're planting all the fall foods so that way they come up during fall when we're deer hunting. But anyways, after we were done with that food plot, we loaded up the four-wheeler and we headed on to location number 2, which is the main food plot. This food plot is my favorite food plot because it's such a good hunting spot and I've gotten so many of my animals out of it. And if you watch me a lot, then you may notice that I hunt here a lot. And for some examples is I got my first deer out of this stand, as well as my third deer, which is my biggest possibly, and then my most recent. And I've also shot all of my turkeys out of this stand. So it's a really insane spot, and we got to make sure we do it perfectly and get it right, and that way we can shoot some more out of it this year. But the first thing that we did at this spot is we watered the apple trees, and this is, like I said earlier, because we're in a huge drought right now, and producing apples is a huge plus for attracting deer because they love apples. So we just watered the tree, and this should hopefully help it keep growing because without a lot of rain, it's kind of hard to get a tree to grow. So hopefully it produces a lot of apples this year, just like previous years. After we watered the apple tree, we tilled up the food plot, which actually loosens the soil, so that way we can plant seeds and add fertilizer, and it just makes it easier to work with, and it usually helps it grow a little bit better. Next up, we loaded up some fertilizer and we put it in our seed spreaders, which we then spread it out all over the food plot, and fertilizer just helps everything grow a little bit better, both the stuff that we planted earlier for earlier season and the stuff that we're going to be planting next. Then we got all the seeds ready and took out. This is actually a seed mixture, which has all kinds of different types of seeds in it, and we mixed them all together, and then my grandpa started planting them, and I didn't do any of the planting because I'm not that trustworthy yet. This was my first time ever working on the food plots, and if I mess it up, it could be a big deal and we could miss out on some deer. So my grandpa did that, and while he was doing that, I was picking some weeds that either the weed killer didn't kill, or if we accidentally missed a little bit of a tiny spot when my grandpa was killing off the weeds with the weed killer, because it can be hard to get a whole big food plot, and most likely he just accidentally missed a little patch. So this is a big patch right here, so we just took all of it, and we were trying to pull as much as we could, because that way we can plant food there instead of just weeds that just take up space instead of being food for the deer that can attract them into us. After we were done pulling the weeds and my grandpa was done planting out the seeds, then I came out and I started to drive down the seeds into the ground with the four-wheeler. So I'd make laps and I'd just try to get the tires to put the seeds basically in the ground so that way they grow. This food plot is a lot bigger than the last one, so we walked them down on the last one, but this one we decided to just drive it down. Just got done way over there, way down there. Now we're gonna head through the bridge and we're gonna do that stand. All right, guys, so we're at the dog pound now. There's the dog pound stand right over there. I shot my first bull buck out of this stand, so it's pretty good. So next step is gonna be, first we're gonna plant the food plots, but actually before we do that, we're gonna water this brand new apple tree so it doesn't die. So we got 3 things of water. We're gonna just water this real quick. It's a coyote den. Yeah, my feet are gonna make it easy.
Okay, just don't kick it into Grant's face or grab it into your face.
I guess it's a little better. Try to do a little bit more. While my grandpa's tilling this whole food plot. Just putting the finishing touches on this den. There's a coyote in there. I don't think he's coming out. Alright, we got this whole food plot fertilized. Now it's almost time to put down some lime and some seed. And then I think we're pretty much almost done. Now I've been spreading out lime over the food plot, and it basically just makes the soil a little bit better to grow the food. And we're just putting it in the shooting spots, the spots that will likely shoot. So that kind of attracts them more heavily towards the shooting areas, the easy shots. Seeds are planted, the lime is out, the fertilizer is out, so pretty good to go. We're just gonna drive them down. My brother is doing the field, just getting it all in the ground, all the seeds and stuff. And then here's the dog pound right here. And we have the trail camera right there, which we're gonna check at the end of this video. And we're gonna see what we've got here, as well as at the last tower that we went to. And my grandpa's currently working on a different food plot, which is a smaller one, but it's right over there. And there's no tower there, but there is a small tree stand. There's one. But yeah, I have 2% battery, so hopefully I'll get enough battery to show you guys some more. My phone battery died, but after we finished that food plot, we checked the trail cameras and there was no pictures at the dog pound, but all these pictures you're seeing are the ones from at the main tower. So we had a ton of big ones at the main tower, and this next picture is the biggest of them all. He's giant, and here he is. He's a giant, and it's really amazing to see that we're getting some big bucks out even before we have the food plots planted. So that should mean we'll have even more big bucks once these food plots are planted and they start getting attracted. And so that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you maybe learned something. And yeah, if you want to see some more videos by me, you can click on the left side of your screen to see the deer that I shot last year, or on the right side of your screen for the growth of a whitetail buck over 1 year. Also, I plan on posting some more videos in the future of updates of our food plots and how they're doing, and maybe some more trail camera pictures and stuff like that. So make sure to turn on the notifications if you don't want to miss out on that. But anyways, thanks for watching.